Hello, so I'm Steven, the data guy, and I want to take us through a journey, you know, on a data analysis project I worked on. I told you I belong to a particular community in which we engage. We engage in monthly challenge, we engage in a monthly challenge, and for the month of June, there was a challenge for the month of June, and I've I've actually done the challenge for a while now, but I just felt okay. I should also make a video representation or a video reporting of the particular analysis. The analysis has to do with a particular telecom communication. I mean, a telecom organization that wants to know, that wants to know the analysis of the churn rates of the organization. So the organization we were given a particular um, data set that talks about this churn rate analysis, and it was presented in the group, and that's what I'm going to do. I also made a visualization, because definitely um, the primary objective of the organization is to create a dashboard, a reporting of the churn rates of that particular telecom organization. So this is the data set. This is the raw data set here. We can see it contains different metrics that talks about different things that we'll be using for the analysis. But before then, I want to do a slight cleaning on this senior citizen column. The content is in this column are zeros and ones, bits. So I from the dictionary, there is no dictionary for the colons actually, but from a description I saw, zeros means no and one means yes. So it's a thing I can actually do on Excel or Power Query, but I just felt the need to do it on Python, using Python to do it, because I want to brush in my skill, my Python skill. So any opportunity I get, I try to engage with Python often. So I took the cleaning to Python instead, and then I was able to fix it there. Firstly, I imported the data into pandas, and then put it in a data frame. And then I was able to check it here. I expanded the columns with setting the option, and I actually renamed some columns here, because the columns are supposed to start with capital letter. So I changed gender and tenor, leaving only this one because the main ID contains capital. So the main cleaning now is to define a function. I guess lambda can also do this. There's a function called lambda function, but I prefer to define a function better. So I defined a function change, and I told the function that if x is equals to 0, print no, else print yes. So what I did basically was to tell the function that if x is equals to 0, x is equals to no, else if x is equals to yes, else x is equals to yes. If for a case whereby there are other information in the colon, like 0, 1, 2, you can do if x is equals to 0, x equals to no, elif. There's a statement called elif, which means else if x equals to 1, x equals to yes, else, before using the final else function, x equals to this, and then return. But in this case, we're only dealing with the bits, that's zeros and ones. So if x equals to 0, x equals to no, else x equals to yes, and then I returned it, and then I applied this function to the colon, and then put it inside the colon, inside the data frame. You understand? So now if you check the data frame now, you'll see that it contains no's and yes. You understand? That's basically the only cleaning we need. That's basically the only cleaning we need. So I extracted the clean data, and then I had to load it into Power BI. So I had to load it into Power BI. So you can see now that this is the data. This is the same data because we are in data view now. So one of the things we want to know. One of the analysis we want to do is the churn analysis. Churn analysis talks about wanting to know why a particular or some set of customers stop using the telecom service. We want to know why some sets of customers stop using the telecom service, because of course, doing the churn rate analysis helps us to know why. So with this available metric, we can know why. At least we can know the primary why this customers stop using the telecom service, but we can't make use of all the metrics, all the columns to come up with this analysis, because the dashboard is going to be choked up. We don't want that, because that won't make any sense. We won't be able to draw out any sense from it. Just, oh this, oh that, oh this means this, that means that. But we want to know the churn analysis. We are 100%. Our main purpose is to know the churn analysis, just the churn analysis. So we have to pick the essentials. Of course, when building the dashboard, this is the dashboard. There are other metrics I had it too, but eventually I had to take them off because I'm only focused on the essentials, and these are the essentials. Yes, yeah, these 6 ones. These 5 are the essentials. They are the essentials. So starting from the back, the essentials. Of course, we need to know the churn rates. So this is the primary one. Total charge. This is the essential one. So we need for charges. We don't need the monthly charge. We need the total charge. So that's why I was able to change the total charge to a currency data type. So you don't need the payment method. You don't need that, because I've been able to see that it's not an essential metric to talk about the churn, statistics or churn rates. Paperless billing, not a it's not a valid metric. Contract, not a valid metric. Though they can be metrics. They can be a good metric that buttress the primary metric. They are just okay. I can just call them a secondary means, or a secondary metric, that buttress the points for the primary metric. So, but I'm only focused, and I only need the primary metric. So that's why I just extracted the essential ones, like internet service is the primary metric, online security, online backup, device protection. Those are like primary metric that will talk about why our customers churned us. So going to the dashboard. I'm sorry. Okay. Trying to put my phone on silent. So going to the dashboard, we'll start from the churn status of customers. We want to know the churn status of the customers. So we are not interested in the people that didn't churn. We are interested in the people that churned, which are the yeses. So going by that, we can say that 1,869 customers churned the telecom service. And from these 1,869 customers, we make $2.86 million You know, these are essentials. No organization will be fine with losing $2.86 million. They, of course, are not fine with that. That's why they want us to make an analysis. So now, initially we were provided with we were provided to analyze 7,043 customers. You know, from these 7,043 customers, we make $16.06 million. You understand? But from this $16.06 million, we want to know why we are losing $2.86 million, because that's a lot of money to lose. And from this $2.86 million, we can see that it's as a result of 1,869 customers churning the organization. So now we want to know why these 1,869 customers churn the organization. So what do we need to do? Firstly, we have to know who they are. Who are these customers that churned us? Are they senior citizens or are they junior citizens, in brackets youths? If they are not senior citizens, then they are youths. If they are not the elderly, then they are youths. So for us to find out what brackets of or what category of senior class they are, we have to check the senior citizen count. And for that, we can see that the yes are 476, while the no are 1,393. So with this particular metric, we can see that we have less senior citizens and more junior citizens, in brackets youths. I would like to call them youths. So we have more youths that churned the organization than senior citizens. What are they? There are some characteristics that are found that are, conversant with the youth than senior citizens. One, the contemporary characteristics that are that the youths are known for is their usage of the internet. Statistically, you can see that more youths make use of the internet than the elderly, and that is also what is happening here too. You can see that less senior citizens churn the organization than junior citizens or youths. So now, from these youths, we want to know if they use, what could be the reason for their churning for these youths, because our main focus is going to be tilted towards the youth, because more of them churn the organization than senior citizens. So these youths, do they have device? What could be the reason why they churn the organization? It could be because probably they lost their device or they lost access to their device. But let's find out. Let's find out device protection usage by customers. So we can see that the categories of device protections are no, people that do not use device protection, people that use the device protection, and people without internet service. You understand? So we can say that the no's have it. There are more people that do not use device protection than people that use device protection. And what this gives us is that, device protection, losing their phone, losing access to their phone, could be a metric, could be a reason for them churning the organization. It is not the primary reason. It's just like going by system theory. Device protection is a subsystem. Device protection is a subsystem. So we need to know the system. We need to know the system. What make them to primarily churn, not the secondaries. Of course, it could be so many reasons. The primary could be so many reasons, but then another insight to draw from this device protection is the usage of internet. We can see that 113 individuals 113 individuals do not use internet service at all, and my guess is that they are, it's going to be the elderly. So I don't think any youths, maybe few might be used, but it's not a point anyway. So, but the main primary insights we can draw from this is that most of the people that churn the telecom service make use of internet. Only from this 1,869 churners, I'll call them churners. From these 1,869 churners, just 113 do not make use of internet. Now that means internet. One of the things they have in common is internet usage. Internet usage. That draws them back to being youths again. So now we have to focus on the internet part. That draws us to this part. Could they have churned the organization because they don't have online backup or because they don't have online security? Now we can see from this that no, there are people that do not have online security, and there are people that have online security, and of course there are people that do not make use of internet, which are 113. You can see them. 113 people do not make use of internet. It's also here to 113 people do not make use of the internet. So most people make use of the internet, and from the people that make use of the internet is either they have online security or they don't. But from this we can see that 1,461 of them, 1,461 of these 1,869 do not make use of online security. That means they are very vulnerable to, virus, hackers. They don't have online. So them not having online security is also a factor to them churning is also a factor to them churning the telecom service. That doesn't mean that is the main factor, just like the device protection. That doesn't mean that is the main factor. Same goes with this online backup. We have more people that don't have online backup than people that have online backup. But there is a science in the sequential movement of this analysis. There's a science from them not having from their device not being protected, which shows that they are vulnerable. From their device not being protected, which shows that they are vulnerable, to them having, no online security, to them having no online backup. There is a sequential movement. There's a science in this movement which shows that these individuals make use of internet more. They make use of internet. They make use of the internet. The people that churned us, the youths that churned this telecom service, are internet users. They are internet users, and we can also buttress our points from the secondary metrics we talked about. We can also buttress our points like this. Let me make this smaller so we can. I want to buttress the points so we can. Okay. So okay. This, I want to make a table for streaming TV, and then the churn counts. Okay. So now I'm interested in people that churned. So yes, okay, now so we can see that some to buttress this one now is to buttress our point. Okay, let me also create a new one for streaming movies and Churn. Count. I'm trying to come up with a particular argument here. Oh, just hold on. So now, with these new tables that I just had it, what I'm driving at is, if we check, we can to buttress the points that people, the youths that churned this organization, really make use of the internet. Because even though there are more people that do not make use of streaming, of their internet service for streaming movies and streaming TVs, we can see that a high number, that there's a high number of people that make use of this internet to stream movies and stream TV. That means they really make use of the internet aggressively. That's the point. That's the insight. This is bringing out. This is bringing out. You can see that the yes is 818. The yes here is 814. Though there are more no's, but it still shows that it's in par, because you can also see that there's people that we have to take in account, people that do not use the internet service. So basically we can say this is 50-50. So for it to be 50-50, we can see that there is 50% of we can say 50% of these internet users stream movies. 50% of these internet users stream movies. 50% of these internet users make use of streaming TV. Making use of streaming TV means you use the internet aggressively. Streaming movies also means you make use of the internet aggressively. So that's my point. That is why this is a secondary metric, pointing to them making use of the internet aggressively. That's my point basically. So, but it's not a primary metric. It's just like a secondary metric that buttresses the point of a primary metric. And another one, and another secondary metric you have to take note of here is the dependents. Do they have dependents? Do these individuals that churned have dependents? Let's see. You can see that no, they don't have dependents. This buttresses the points that they are still youths. They are still the rate of the volume of individuals that do not have dependents are mostly the youths, because most senior citizens will have dependents. You understand? They'll have dependents, but the youths, just a high volume of youths will not have dependents. Will not have people depending on them. Like probably children, stuff like that. Dependents basically, they don't. Most youths do not. So that buttresses the point that we have more youths than more senior citizens. So that's why I can't make this a primary metric, but a secondary metric. So I'm going to bring this back to its normal state. So that's basically the point of me not adding those other metrics there. But what I'm trying to drive at now is that these youths make use of the internet extensively. They make use of the internet extensively. So for them now, that now drives us to this last metric that hits the nail. What internet service do they use the most? So now we can see that most people that churned, most youths that make use of the internet make use of fiber optic more than they make use of DSL. We can say 1,297 of them make use of fiber optic, and for just 459 people make use of DSL. And of course, we still have to put in account people that do not make use of internet. So basically, we are just concerned with the people that make use of the internet. So we can see that more people make use of fiber optic than DSL. And from my own personal research, because of course I'm allowed to do my personal research, I saw that fiber optic is the best means of accessing the internet because of its speed and the download speeds and the streaming speed of fiber optic. But it's a very expensive means of accessing the internet. It's more expensive than DSL. You see? It's more expensive than DSL, probably because DSL is fast, but not as fast as fiber optic, But the youth the youth these days, make use of streaming service, some TikTok, so many social medias, playing video games, online video games, Call of Duty online, so many stuff the youth engage in these days that makes use of the internet. So this makes them want to opt for fiber optic. But the detriment they face, the detriment the youths face now is the cost of using fiber optic. We don't know the age range of these youths. Had it been there is a column that talks about the age range, then we can also structure we can also use that to get insights that will buttress this point on the cost, the cost of them being able to access fiber optic regularly. Oops. It just took light here now, but I'll continue with my analysis. So, yeah, so most of the youths make use of fiber optic, and fiber optic is a very expensive means. It's not as though it's a very expensive means, but it's more expensive compared to DSL. DSL is very accessible to people. In fact, if we check people that didn't churn with us, people that didn't churn to the service, people that are still actively active customers with us, we can see that most of them make use of DSL. Because of course DSL is very accessible and very much cheap, than of course some of them make use of fiber optic, but most of them make use of DSL. So this now shows us that the internet service is the primary reason for them churning the organization. The cost of fiber optic is the major reason why the youths churned this organization, which is the telecom service. So now, since we've gotten the primary reason why the service is being churned, we can now go to my report, which also talks about exactly what I'm just saying now. Everything is just given in a more explanatory way. And then this is my observation. Everything that I just explained now. This is my observation over here, and this is my recommendation. This is my recommendation. There can be various ways to solve the churning of the telecom service by the youths and elderly. Some of these ways include: my predominant recommendation as a data analyst is to either find a way to introduce discounts on fiber optic internet service usage for long tenured customers and advertise more on these discounts to spaces that are filled with youths. This will register in their minds that they are making use of fiber optic route at a subsidized rate. So what this talks about is is that customers that are long tenured with us, that make use of the service more, you know, they should be given some set of discounts, that and also that discount should be should be emphasized upon when making advertisements in spaces that are occupied by youths. you know this will register in their mind that they are paying less. They are paying a subsidized rate for what they love. They are paying a subsidized rate for the fiber optic route they use in accessing the internet. So basically what that's just like a recommendation from me, my own personal recommendation to the telecom service. you know and also we can't just stop at subsidizing the rates for fiber optic alone. We also have to do the same for DSL, because if we do it for fiber optic alone, people that there can be some sensitive customers that might churn the organization. Because of that, they'll feel neglected and marginalized in being given discounts. So we have to do it for both services. We have to set discounts for fiber optic and discount for DSL. you know since most of our customers still make use of DSL more, then the rate of discount shouldn't be as high as the one for fiber optic, because most people that churned the organization churn because of the rate or at which fiber optic is you know more expensive than DSL. So introduction of discount being a recommendation from me is also a good way. And also we have to take in account the elderly too. We can't just say, okay, because we have less elderly joining the organization, we can just leave that part untouched. We can also, for the elderly, we know that most of them are interested in the calling service and not the internet service. The elderly seem to be more loyal because they get their appropriate value for their money. So the only thing we have to do now is to make them feel valued and loved by giving out free minutes and calls. Okay, 3 minutes to call their loved ones. Probably for every 10 minutes they make a call, they get 3 extra free minutes. There's also a way of discounts too. It's basically a way of discounts too. Basically to make them feel they get reward for every call they make. So all these ways will drastically reduce the way at which people churn the organization. So this is my own personal analysis, and you can also get it. I'll leave this Power BI file in my GitHub, in which you can access it if you have Power BI on your laptop. So with that being said, I guess I'll just have to stop this